Have you ever found yourself anxiously counting down to a future event, convinced that happiness lies just beyond the next deadline or milestone? Do you feel the relentless pressure of time, constantly pushing you to achieve more, be more, and prepare for what's next? Alan Watts, a profound philosopher and spiritual teacher, challenges this pervasive mindset by asserting that our conventional understanding of time is one of the greatest illusions we face. In a world where time is money and time is of the essence, Watts invites us to question the very fabric of our temporal existence. He argues that the future is a hoax, a mirage that distracts us from the only reality we can truly experience, the present moment. In this exploration, we delve into Watts's insights, unraveling the profound implications of his perspective on time and the human experience. Join us as we challenge the notion of time itself and uncover the deeper truths obscured by our relentless pursuit of what lies ahead. Alan Watts' perspective on time challenges the conventional understanding that time is an inherent aspect of the natural world. Instead, he argues that time is a social construct, a tool created by humans to organize and make sense of their experiences. This distinction is critical because it shifts our understanding of time from something absolute and universal to something subjective and artificial. In the natural world, what exists are rhythms, the cyclical patterns and processes that govern the behavior of living organisms and natural phenomena. The rising and setting of the sun, the changing of the seasons, and the biological cycles of plants and animals are all examples of these rhythms. These natural patterns do not adhere to a strict, linear timeline. They flow continuously and seamlessly, without the segmented structure of past, present, and future. Time, as understood in human society, is an abstract construct designed to measure and compare these rhythms. Watts likens time to language and mathematics, systems created by humans to facilitate communication and comprehension. Just as language allows us to express thoughts and ideas, and numbers enable us to quantify and calculate, time provides a framework for scheduling, planning, and coordinating activities. It is a means to impose order on the fluid, ever-changing reality of the natural world. Watts emphasizes that while time is a useful convention, it is crucial to recognize its constructed nature. When we fail to do so, we risk becoming enslaved by it, letting it dictate our lives and actions. Phrases like "time is money" and "time is of the essence" exemplify how deeply ingrained this concept has become in Western culture, often leading to stress and a sense of urgency. Understanding time as a social construct can help us regain a sense of balance and perspective, allowing us to live more in harmony with the natural rhythms that truly govern our existence. In modern Western cultures, the pervasive influence of the concept of time shapes nearly every aspect of life. The adage "time is money" epitomizes a cultural attitude that treats time as a precious commodity, emphasizing efficiency and productivity above all else. This perspective dictates that time should be managed, saved, and spent wisely, compelling individuals to meticulously adhere to schedules, meet deadlines, and optimize their activities to achieve maximum output. While this approach can indeed foster efficiency and organization, it also exacts a significant psychological toll. Alan Watts highlights the anxiety and stress that arise from living by the clock. The relentless pressure to meet deadlines and honor appointments can create a persistent state of unease. This sense of urgency can become so overwhelming that it dominates one's thoughts and actions, rendering individuals unable to concentrate on anything else until the anticipated event has passed. This phenomenon can lead to a state of incapacitation, where the constant drive to make the deadline or accomplish a specific objective consumes one's mental and emotional energy, resulting in chronic stress and a feeling of being controlled by external forces. Watts draws a parallel between life and a game, suggesting that people often lose sight of the playful and transient nature of their existence. Instead, they become excessively serious and emotionally attached to their roles and identities. From early childhood, societal influences, parents, educators, and peers shape an individual's identity by imposing roles and expectations. This constructed identity, once internalized, must be continually maintained and defended. The emotional investment in one's self-image and life trajectory becomes profound, leading to a rigid adherence to societal norms and expectations. This deep emotional investment in maintaining one's identity and fulfilling societal roles can exacerbate the stress and anxiety associated with the passage of time. The constant need to measure up to expectations and achieve set goals can detract from the intrinsic value of simply being, resulting in a life dominated by a relentless pursuit of future accomplishments at the expense of present contentment. Alan Watts emphasizes the distinction between the natural rhythms that govern the world and the concept of time as a human-made construct designed to measure these rhythms. In the natural world, everything operates on inherent cycles and patterns. The earth rotates, the tides ebb and flow, the seasons change, and biological processes follow their own internal clocks. These natural rhythms are continuous and self-sustaining, forming the foundational pulse of life on Earth. Watts argues that what we refer to as time is essentially a method for measuring these natural motions. For instance, the rotation of the Earth provides a basis for the 24-hour day, while the Earth's orbit around the Sun defines the year. Similarly, the beating of a heart or the phases of the Moon are rhythmic patterns that occur without the need for external measurement. Humans, in their quest to organize and make sense of these patterns, have created tools like the clock. The clock, according to Watts, is akin to a ruler, an abstract device that helps quantify something otherwise intangible. Just as a ruler measures length and a scale measures weight, a clock measures the passage of events by segmenting time into uniform units. This segmentation allows for the creation of schedules, the coordination of activities, and the planning for future events, lending a sense of order and predictability to human life. However, Watts cautions against taking the clock too seriously. While it is an undeniably useful tool, it remains a human invention, an artificial construct that does not possess any inherent reality. The danger lies in becoming overly attached to the measurements and allowing them to dominate one's perception of reality. By remembering that the clock is merely a convention, individuals can better appreciate the natural rhythms that truly govern life. This perspective encourages a more harmonious existence, attuned to the natural cycles rather than dictated by arbitrary divisions of time. Alan Watts posits that human consciousness inherently limits our ability to perceive the entirety of reality. Conscious attention, he explains, has a tendency to zoom in on specific details, often at the expense of the broader context in which these details exist. This selective focus can result in a fragmented and superficial understanding of reality, where the interconnectedness and deeper truths that bind all phenomena are overlooked. Watts introduces the concept of a continuum, a seamless, all-encompassing backdrop against which all physical phenomena occur. This continuum represents the fundamental ground of being, the underlying reality that constitutes the essence of all existence. Despite its omnipresence, this ground of being is frequently ignored by conscious attention because it remains constant and unchanging. Human consciousness, which thrives on novelty and variation, tends to filter out this constant background, causing it to fade into the periphery of awareness. To counter this natural inclination of the mind, Watts advocates for practices that can help shift attention back to this underlying reality. Techniques such as yoga, meditation, and the exploration of altered states of consciousness are effective in drawing attention inward and making the ground of being more vivid and apparent. These practices enable individuals to momentarily transcend the distractions of daily life and tap into the continuous, interconnected flow of existence. Watts emphasizes that understanding the ground of being is not an intellectual exercise, but an experiential one. It is an awareness that must be felt and embodied, rather than merely conceptualized. When individuals attune themselves to this fundamental reality, it can profoundly transform their perception of life and their behavior. Recognizing the seamless continuity and interconnectedness of all things fosters a sense of unity and peace, allowing individuals to transcend the fragmented, often stressful experience of daily life. This shift in awareness can lead to a more holistic and harmonious way of living, grounded in the profound realization of the underlying oneness of all existence. Alan Watts delves into the profound psychological and emotional consequences of living by the clock and adhering to societal roles. From an early age, individuals are encouraged to build and maintain specific identities, which become central to their sense of self and purpose. These identities are often reinforced by external expectations and societal norms, making them deeply ingrained in one's psyche. However, as life progresses and circumstances inevitably change, the identities people have painstakingly constructed can begin to deteriorate, leading to feelings of disillusionment and existential loss. Watts asserts that one of the most pervasive and detrimental illusions is the concept of the future. In contemporary society, there is a pervasive tendency to fixate on future events, goals, and milestones. People often believe that true fulfillment and happiness are just around the corner, waiting to be achieved in some future moment. This forward-looking mindset creates a psychological state where the present is devalued and the future is idealized. The problem with this approach is that the future, by its very nature, is an abstract concept, an ever-receding horizon that can never be fully grasped or experienced. This relentless focus on the future generates a perpetual cycle of striving and dissatisfaction. Individuals become trapped in a loop of anticipation and anxiety, always working towards something that remains just out of reach. This constant deferral of happiness and contentment prevents people from fully experiencing and appreciating the richness of the present moment. The future becomes a source of stress and unease, overshadowing the immediate reality of life as it unfolds. To break free from this illusion, Watts advocates for a radical shift in perspective, an embrace of the present moment as the only true reality. By recognizing that the present is the only point of actual experience, individuals can liberate themselves from the anxieties and pressures associated with the future. This shift in awareness allows for a deeper connection with the here and now, fostering a sense of peace and fulfillment that is grounded in the immediate reality. By living fully in the present, individuals can experience life more richly and authentically, free from the constraints of future-oriented thinking. Alan Watts' exploration of time as a social construct challenges us to reconsider our relationship with the future. By questioning the pervasive belief in a future-driven existence, Watts encourages a shift towards appreciating the present moment. This perspective invites us to reclaim our lives from the grip of anticipation and anxiety, finding fulfillment not in distant aspirations, but in the immediate experience of being. As we reflect on Watts' profound insights, we are reminded that true contentment lies in embracing the richness of each passing moment, liberated from the illusionary constraints of time.